Well, it's game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. Here in Boston, the Blues trail the series 1-0. Alongside Joe Vitale, I'm Darren Pang, and we welcome you inside. This is the media room. This is where it all gets done, Joe Vitale.
Yep.
But here we are in another one of these important bounce-back games, and the Blues have proven time and time again that they're capable and up to the task.
Really, I mean, there's no hesitation. There should be no nerves from the Blues, from the fans, from anyone, because look what the Blues have done all postseason, Darren. You know, they've been a 5-2 record after a loss in this postseason. We saw what happened in San Jose. They got down by a game there. They got down by a game after Game 3 as well. They were down 2-1. Go back to the Dallas series. They were going to Dallas being down 3-2 in that series. If one thing is clear about this team, they bounce back. They bounce back hard, and especially with that goaltender. And Jordan Binnington, his numbers, I want to say I think it's a .934 save percentage after a loss. Just pretty incredible. When you have a backbone like that on the back end, it could lead to a pretty fun game here tonight.
Actually, pretty interesting that game 1 usually a feeling out process. It's the East versus the West. Long time off, 10 days actually for the Boston Bruins. Even the Blues had 6 days off. Yet it wasn't a feeling out process at all. There's a lot of little storylines already in this game. You had David Backes and Joel Edmondson, a couple of battles there. You had took another peek at Jordan Binnington in a little bit of a scrum. Backus was trying to get in close. Up comes an elbow of Binnington, pop right on right on the button there. And then obviously the Torrey Krug big hit on Robert Thomas. So did that surprise you at all that both teams jumped right into the fire?
No, I don't think it did. I think both coaches knew that they were going to have a punch in the mouth kind of game right from the get-go, and I thought it really did. You know, I think the Blues got in a little bit of penalty trouble. I think that's something that's got to get cleaned up here in the second. You know, as you know, Panger, being physical was maybe the biggest key in that San Jose series. To me, I liked the way they hit in the first 2 games, and you can see how the San Jose Sharks they wore down. The injuries just really built up over the series, and the Blues took over in that series. I know the Blues want to be physical, but did they kind of maybe step over the line a little bit too much in game 1, do you think?
Well, I think I've heard a player a series ago say 9 hits and no plays, not good. four hits and 4 plays is a lot better.
Yeah.
But again, the energy level of it, and you want to get a piece of somebody. And clearly, let's go back to the minor penalties. 4 straight power plays for the Boston Bruins. That's a tough one to take against an average power play. But the power play of the Boston Bruins has just been phenomenal. And even if they don't score, we often talk about gaining momentum from your power play instead of losing momentum. And I thought the Blues actually, with the lead, actually didn't do a good enough job on their power play, lost a little momentum, and then Boston gets going with that. So when we talk about taking too many minor penalties, does it start with poor puck play? Does it talk with managing the puck and where you are on the ice? Or?
I think it does. I think it puts you in bad situations first and foremost. And, you know, I think that as you want to play that physical game, and this team wants to be physical, I think you just got to be careful. You know, I had a coach once tell me responsible physical. You know, it's kind of a weird term, but the idea is if you want to be physical, it's got to be shoulder to shoulder. It's got to be clean. It's got to be between the whistles. You know, Joel Edmondson, I couldn't get a good replay on it, but his stick gets up a little high. Was it one? Based off Joel Edmondson's reaction, I don't think
he obviously didn't think so.
He didn't think it was.
Yeah.
It looked a bit soft. Oscar Sundqvist, then he's seeing numbers on Clifton right between the bench. It's a situation you want to be physical. I think you got to be a little bit more careful there as well. So the Torrey Krug, I mean, yeah, maybe it could be a charging, but it's shoulder to shoulder. It's an impact hit. It's playoff hockey, and I think that both coaches, if you really asked them, they probably didn't mind the hit. They want this to be a physical series. So I think for the St. Louis Blues, and in the physicality aspect, I know an area that they will clean up here in Game 2 is just being a little bit more responsible and picking your moments a little bit better.
You've got good hair. I could see you losing your helmet doing the same thing.
Oh, that was always my dream. I always wanted to lose my helmet and score like a game winner and just like throw my mitts in the air, but it never quite happened that way.
Okay, well, as we started in this game, well, you're a Northeastern captain, and there's been a parade everywhere we've gone here in Boston for you, Captain. You look at the Tuukka Rask, the Blues did a great job against him. They scored in areas that he has shown tendency to give up goals in those areas. I felt like the Blues, though, kind of laid off that, and that when you have a 2-0 lead, I think you'll see more rubber being fired at him. But I do like the fact that they went to different areas and were disciplined in that areas, and they ended up scoring two goals on them that way.
Yeah, started with that top line, and you know, Braden Shen, my goodness, if there was a bright spot, it was that top line. It was Braden Shen. He came out just on fire, and he's just been building momentum. You know, 2 goals in the last 2 games leading into Game 1. It was only 1 goal in the last 18 before that, so he's playing terrific hockey, and that's very positive for the St. Louis Blues. You know, he almost scored at the end of the game. I know it's a 2-goal game, but right as the buzzer sounded, he got to the inside of Chara, and he's poking away at Tuukka Rask. That is a play right there. We're going to see it all game here tonight. I know it. The Blues are going to do a better job, and they will do a better job getting to the inside.
I was thinking of that, Joe, saying, you know, sometimes pulling the goalie really early and giving up an empty net goal versus go to the very end of it,
Yeah.
the last second, because, I mean, if there was no empty net goal and it's a 3-2 game, that ties it at 3
Yeah.
with 14 seconds left on the clock. So great effort by Shen to get on the inside. I thought he and Vladdy were really working it hard. I would think that a guy like Jaden Schwartz, who's an energetic guy, probably didn't have his best in game one, and once he gets control of the puck and handles the puck, like he normally does, then they'll be in good shape. We're not sure about line changes yet. Obviously, yesterday was an optional skate. We've watched Vince Dunn. Vince Dunn has skated really, really hard. Looks good, and so I mean, if that's an area that the Blues think that he could be added in, I wouldn't be surprised. We'll keep our eye on Robert Thomas as well. Got banged up around there, and we know that he hasn't been at many morning skates. You've got Robbie Fabry that's waiting in the wings. We got the players on the Blues that are waiting in the wings. They're chomping at the bit. You got Sanford. McEachran has played well, and when he's been in the lineup. So not sure just yet, but we'll find out about that. We've got 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time puck drop, 7 o'clock in St. Louis. Hey, the barn at Enterprise Center is going to be sold out. Great job over there, all you Blues fans. That's fantastic stuff. Love that, and that's going to be on KMOX.
KMOX.
Okay, so that's Central Time. 7 o'clock puck drop, 6:30 on the pregame show, and of course on NBC Sports Network. We're going to have some pre on Fox Sports Midwest. John Kelly and Bernie Federico, we're here. Scott Warman and Jamie Rivers are back in St. Louis. And of course, after the game, it's post-game coverage like you read about. Harry?
There we go. Let's get the split, buddy. Let's get out of here.
You got it, big guy. So we're reporting here from Boston. And we're getting ready for Game 2. So for Joe Vitale, I'm Darren Pang. Enjoy your day, everybody.